Hi, welcome. On this video, I want to respond to a comment that I received in one of my videos. Again, I appreciate the questions and comments coming in. In fact, I'm putting out some extra content here lately to really showcase the method, but also at the same time to really provide some insight, context into the role of influence, control. I know I get a lot of questions about the why part of this. And here's a question came in. I want to take a moment to respond here directly by way of a video. The question is, again, this comes off of watching one of my interactions with Brody, who's here for service dog training. And the question is, but how will this make the dog relaxed and comfortable around other dogs when you are turning it into an unpleasant situation? Okay, what if they want to meet and interact, but instead end up associating other dogs with control and punishment? Okay, so here's the thing about, again, talk about this whole issue about depth of relationship. Okay, being able to reconcile the responses of dogs, reactivity by way of relationship, and the role of not just our role, but the role of influence and control by way of intercepting a expressed state. Okay, so when I get into this whole thing about you hear trainers use the word behavior in a very superficial way, okay, by way of superficial response. Okay, so this system of training, it goes deeper, okay, which is what it is. Okay, understand that's what makes dogs amazing. Dogs are social animals, so understand that being able to use a parent example can be helpful because it parallels in a lot of ways. So again, I talk about behavioral issues, okay, express states. um, think of the selfish child. The more and more selfish the child gets, okay, the more behavioral issues manifest, okay, the bad attitude of the child. So here, when I talk about dogs as social animals, once they've gained, once you have a relationship problem underway, once they've gained love, control, and relationship, it's expressed through the dog's state of mind, fixation. You'll see it. You'll see if you watch how the dog's head pivots, swivels, fixates. Okay, in the middle of a relationship problem, and again, you see these expressed states. The dog starts to get out of control, right? Control is manifesting itself. It's expressed. So, therefore, when that's happening, when in the middle of a relationship problem, the role of influence as such isn't about trying to redirect the focus using treats. Okay, I'm very specific as to the role of influence by way of intercepting. Okay, intercepting. Okay, so it takes a form of being proactive, takes a form of a nudge. It can be a nudge, or it can be working off, again, people watch my videos, at baseline, as I call it, intentional control, okay, happening at a certain level, okay, and that will expose the cards. Understand, it's interesting because when you say, if you turn sideways and another dog, let's say your dog's very reactive, and if it's like a loose leash and you're walking, you'll get blindsided. Okay, it's just like kaboom, and you're in a mess. But here's the interesting thing: you put what I say to the test. When another dog's say walking towards you from a distance, and your dog just starts to notice that dog, just starts, and you could be, quite a ways away. Okay, if you turn at that time, you angle, you turn, and you start to bring a dog under more intentional control, okay, and to the collar, start to assert control, you're going to see the cards exposed. Okay, that dog's going to start to get upset way back. Then you have to ask yourself the questions. Well, what's going on here? Is what the level of control I'm bringing into my dog? Is it unreasonable? Keep it at a reasonable level. Just a reasonable level of control. Because what it does, that is going to, again, force the hand down sooner, which is what you want. Okay, it's going, because the dog sees you in a weak position. Okay, it's going to trigger your dog off, because you're not in the right role to begin with. Dog say, "What's going on here? I have control. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting till that dog gets close, and kaboom." But you start to bring leadership, you start to bring the dog under intentional control, you're going to see that dog trigger off, right? It's like, what just happened? Well, you got, the relationship got revealed way back, right? So this is the thing about, again, understanding the dynamics here. Okay, it's understanding how to bring influence into the equation. So it's not about turning into an unpleasant situation. In fact, as you start to intercept, it's starting to, what you're saying, the messaging is saying, hey, I'm in control. Okay, relax. It starts to affect change. You're interrupting it because it's become a supply source. So it brings a focus. It generates that focus. It brings a focus. You pay attention to my videos. The focus, the dog's head turns inward. the dog will start to look towards me in these moments, look towards me. And so the message is, hey, I'm in control. And so the dog starts to let it go. Because if you're in control, your dog doesn't have to be. But it's a hard thing for people if they're caught up in this idea that training's a learning based exercise, and so and what happens is a lot of these people that leave these comments, usually they're already in a mess. They can never get out of it, but they'll be upset when they see what I'm doing because it seems to go against how they want to think and what they're being told. So over time, as again, this isn't about control like punishment. You're not punishing the dog. Okay, you're starting to intercept those express states. Okay, just as you start to, and as you see it, and here's me. I've worked with thousands of dogs. I come out on the other side over and over and over again. So, it gives you that level of confidence. It gives that level of being able to connect dots. But for the average dog owner, it can be a hard thing. But just I would encourage watch my videos. I talk through it. I know it seems really different based on what's popular, but this is why the dog training world's in a mess. Okay, people can never like work through or move through a relationship problem. And these are the very people that have the most to say on the internet. Okay, so it's always the way you go. You see these people. It's like, okay, so let's see you work through it based on permissiveness and bribery, and trying to just change the focus of the dog. Well, the dog isn't going to get any better. Okay, it's like trying to change the focus of a selfish child that's mouthing off at a parent, just pulling a chocolate bar out and waving the focus shifts. Right, seems like things are better in that moment, but the relationship isn't. Okay, so you have to understand the specific role of influence. I define it. Okay, the system of training, not going to find any other system of training out there. But it's not about cranking and yanking on dogs either. People, when you're proactive, you're dialed in the right way, the dog's going to be more agreeable within those moments because it makes sense to the dog. Okay, it's just like intercepting, and you're ahead, so you're moving the dog to the side ahead of time, and then you just work it. You're not projecting onto the dog. You're not looking at the dog like, oh my goodness. The dog will start to come out of that. Okay, so my encouragement is to think different. If you have questions, contact me. More than happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.